Hey guys, what's up? It's Ellie here. From the first 3 notes played in the beginning of this reveal, we get mad Dishonored vibes. The first shot is of an island, and a large structure in the center of which initially made me think of the crashed space station in Fallout 76. It's radiating some mad sort of energy over the small town in front of it. Wherever we are, it's cold. Perhaps a northern island of a whole new world we haven't explored before, like a small island off of Tivia on Dishonored's map of the Isles. There aren't any other land masses that we can see in this shot, and no boats or a visible dock so far, meaning that this island is likely quite secluded. In this next shot, a man called Colt wakes up gasping on a cliffside beach. We learn his name later in the reveal, but I'll be using his name just to make things easier. This island seems quite dark and overcast, giving us a gloom and doom kind of vibe. Colt reaches over to something next to him. Before he picks this thing up, we can see a message written on the sleeve of his leather jacket. Never something. Whatever it says, it's a reminder. Perhaps he's woken up on this beach without any recent memories. Perhaps it's a simple motivator. The small poster that Colt picks up advertises a place called Black Reef, where the party never ends. The Ferris wheel / space station shaped structure behind the font. We can also note Colt's glove. I'm not sure if Pennyworth is just a brand, or if it may be a particular someone. Maybe this Pennyworth is like a Piero or Sokolov to Colt, like they were to Corvo in Dishonored. Someone who designs gadgets, clothing, and helps them obtain weapons throughout the game. This place isn't a paradise, says Colt. The shot switches over to a closer shot of the strange recurring structure. We can see the structure looming over a small crowded looking town. This strange energy field even more present. It's a prison, Colt states. The scene quickly changing with a flash of colour to an odd metal mannequin-faced being who throws a flare into the street as a loud ringing shocks us out from the quiet and eerie scenes before it. We see a man holding an aimed gun to his face as a woman shoots him with it. The shooter and onlookers cheering as the deed is done, celebrating the death. In this cheer scene, we can spot a few things. 1. The graffiti on the right, Forever Young. The 2 O's creating a bigger O, like a loop, just as the graffiti closer to the center of the frame states. We can spot some neon signage detailing the location of the bar. The lady who shot someone is also standing on a pile of speakers. Given what we know so far, including the title of the game, it definitely seems like this is a location where people cease to age at a certain point. Young adults are the population without a fear of death, forever young in an endless loop of life. A party town where the party never ends. It's also interesting to note that the street and the buildings in this shot actually heavily resemble those on the streets of Dunwall, with a slightly modern flavour. We fade into the next shot from Black, Colt observing the circular structure from the top of a hill, getting a clearer look at it in a lighter shot. We can see that whatever it is, it's a source of power and is likely the source of this infinite cycle of life. Some sort of electrical arc, constructed by perhaps an experimental government body that Colt stands ahead of with an observable intention to shut down. This shot is particularly interesting as it introduces a second voice, the voice of Juliana, Jules Blake. The 2 characters' narrations are intertwined with the opposing statements. Colt states that out here, we're trapped. But Jules states that out here, we're free. The next shot of Colt sitting and leaning against a wall littered with tally marks. The words, "Die again," painted on the floor in white paint, and parable written on the wall crossed out. Parable is a simple story used to illustrate a moral or spiritual lesson. Colt has lived and died many times before, and he almost looks defeated in this shot. There is a shot of a clock moving quickly as Colt calls this cycle endless and eternal. Colt approaches what looks like old government satellites in the mountains. This old tech seems broken and run down, except for whatever is on the right of the frame here, demonstrated by the red glowing lights on the side. It looks like it has potential to be a small base. This shot of seemingly abandoned old technology switches back to the newer and larger, stronger looking technology that looms over everyone and everything. But we head back to the old satellites from the perspective of Jules, who we see for the first time here, armed with a large sniper rifle, patrolling or hunting. We know that Jules and Colt have differing opinions on the situation, and they are naturally enemies. Jules loads up her rifle and aims at Colt. "My life's purpose is on this island," she narrates before taking a shot at Colt. "And I can't let this go on any longer," narrates Colt, as an enemy jumps at him with a blade, and Colt blows him away with a heavy shotgun. Here is where we begin to see some real action. First of all, the weapons. Jules seems to favor her supersized rifle, and we know Colt can use a sniper rifle as well, as he actually has the ammo available on his right shoulder, as well as some possible explosives. Secondly, supernatural powers. Jules teleports behind Colt in a blue flash with a blade, and before Colt can even register what is happening, Jules has executed him. Colt wakes up on the cliffside beach once again, gasping and holding his throat. He died, but he's back. We can also finally clearly see the second word on his jacket, completing the message, "Never again," which is a little ironic, seeing as he will likely experience a lot of things again, like dying, for example. But I'm sure that there is some deeper meaning, like "Don't fall for this again," or something similar. We see Jules now holding a minigun, an enemy with dual submachine guns and Colt wielding dual pistols. And already we can see that there are going to be a range of weapons that we can use throughout the game. And with the addition of supernatural powers, combat is going to be hopefully quite dynamic. We even see Jules holding both a submachine gun and a blade, which I think is so cool. This narration between Colt and Jules tells us that in order to achieve the different outcomes they desire, one of them has to die. Which is interesting, because we see Colt die multiple times, but not Jules so far. Does this mean killing Jules would break the cycle, or are they both in a constant race to obtain some sort of power or weapon that would be able to either break or preserve the cycle once and for all? We also see that Colt has his own supernatural power in this shot. Colt walks away from an exploding building and shoots down enemies, stopping one with an orange telekinesis, or a smoother wind blast power in Dishonored, from his left arm. The shot changes and we see Jules using her teleportation almost blink-like power again. As we can see it a little more closely, we can observe its electrical effect. Jules uses this power to teleport onto a wardrobe behind an unsuspecting Colt, and use it as high ground to jump off and kick Colt onto the floor below, killing him and bringing him back again. Except this time, we're back at an earlier shot. An enemy jumping towards him with a blade, Colt shoots him with his shotgun, but this time he knows what's coming, turning around and shooting Jules. We see her die and come back again for the first time. This is awesome because it actually kind of confirms the Groundhog Day style of events. Referring back to the clock for a split second makes me think that they are really living the same day over and over again, with the intention of achieving a specific goal in time, and eliminating those that are in the way. From what we've seen in this CGI world premiere so far does confirm game director Dinga Bakaba's statement of the game having a mind-bending story, and I'm super interested to see more from Arkane Studios Leon as we get closer to Deathloop's release. Lastly, we have this ending shot here, presenting the game as if it were a film. We finally learn the two characters' names here, where it says, starring Colt the Captain, comma, Juliana Jules Blake, and many other names of characters we probably have yet to see. We also see, in association with the Aeon program, or Aeon, I'm not really sure how to pronounce that yet. This is likely a program that controls the infinite loop of the day that they live in, run by some strange evil government body. Another note here is that Colt doesn't have a last name, and I've seen speculation that Jules and Colt may be related. But although Arkane has used this family relationship dynamic in the past, I feel like as if there would be a "and" there instead of a comma. And maybe his family name is something we need to find out in-game. He may also simply just not have a last name. My last thoughts are about the movie projection-esque style. It makes me wonder if the events that happen in Black Reef are actually a spectacle for those who are higher up in government, or for entertaining a population of people elsewhere. Like some sort of messed up reality TV show. Just something that I briefly considered and thought it may be interesting to think about. But hey, I hope you enjoyed the discussion and the analysis of the world premiere of Deathloop. I'll be covering this further as more information comes out, and we'll have more speculation discussion videos in the near future. This includes topics like supernatural powers, how we're going to get to play this game, and when we're going to get to play it. So leave a comment below and let's talk about this game. Like the video if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
This place isn't a paradise. It's a prison.